Shalom, shalom. Back for another quick hit. All right, and first and foremost, as always, before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of Great Millstone who teach you, who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety. To all you sincere Akim, keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. All right, and this is another edition of News and Prophecy. All right, and I'm going to bring out a few articles. All right, just updating you of what's going on with the current world situation. All right, of course, we have the war on the Gaza Strip right now. And then, of course, we have the other nations of the middle of what's known as the so-called Middle East, which is Northern Africa and Western Asia. All right, and they're pretty much preparing themselves to go to war against the Western powers. All right, so we're going to read a little bit of these articles that I have prepared. And then, as always, we're going to bring out some scriptures. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, this first article is entitled Devastation in Gaza as Israel Wages War on Hamas. All right, and this was actually from today. I'm going to read what it says right here, okay? It says what we're covering. U.S. President Joe Biden offered one of his sharpest rebukes of Israel's handling of the war in Gaza during an interview airing Tuesday, describing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's approach as a mistake and calling for a halt to the fighting. All right, so what's happening here is Esau, or really Amalek, which is the chief nation of Esau, is really showing the world who they are. They're the same bloodthirsty devils, all right, that they've always been, all right? And of course, you have the Edomites over here in Babylon the Great that are supporting the wickedness that they're doing over there in Gaza, all right? The straight up genocide. And all it is, once again, they're just exposing that they're the same people who came over here and destroyed and slaughtered the so-called Native American Indians. All right. And then, of course, put the so-called Negroes in slavery. So now, all right, the world is rising up against the Western powers. When I say that, I really mean Babylon and the creation state of Israel. All right, because a lot of the European nations have already expressed their reproach, all right, and their disagreement with what's going on over there in the area known as Gaza. All right. So now, even Joe Biden, all right, who the United States is a big puppet, for the Israelis, all right, for the 1948ers, all right. Even now, the president is expressing disapproval for the things that are happening over there, all right. But look what it says. The next point, it says Benjamin, not a Jew, Netanyahu, for his part, said Tuesday that no force in the world will stop Israeli troops from entering Rafah, where about 1.5 million Gazans are sheltering, to eliminate Hamas units said to be there. All right, and this is really just pretty much an excuse for them to go in and take the land by violence. All right, as the scriptures say, that's one of the main characteristics of Esau, Edom, and what they do. All right, let's get that right quick. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. All right, because the creation state of Israel has one of the strongest militaries in the world, and they're backed by one of the strongest militaries in the world. All right, which is that of Babylon the Great. All right, also known as America. All right, so they are exercising this power over the Palestinians who are not really able to overcome them. All right. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. All right. So this is a key trait of Esau, Edom. All right. They're land grabbers. They're land stealers. All right. They covet fields. All right. And covet means to desire something. All right. And really desire something that doesn't belong to you. All right. And they take them away by violence, okay? And they've done this in that land multiple times, all right? The actual biblical Hebrew Israelites were exiled from that land in 70 AD, all right? It's a common date that we bring up. All right, they were exiled out of their land when the Romans, all right, sacked Jerusalem. Same people, the Edomites. All right, they covet fields and take them by violence. All right, they come in and bring out the sword. All right, which means killing instruments. Okay, it says, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil. All right, and what we're gonna read about that coming on a little bit later in this video. All right, but the Lord is devising their destruction. All right, the other nations are preparing to go up against Babylon the Great. All right, and their chief nation, okay, the 1948ers. All right, the creation state of Israel, and they're getting ready to pretty much destroy it. All right, they're going to destroy that small creation state and utterly destroy Babylon the Great by nuclear missiles. All right, it says, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. All right, so they're not going to be able to escape the punishment that the Lord has set. All right, his judgment upon them is already written. Okay, this is the book of Malachi chapter 1. All right, Malachi chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, and I hated Esau, all right, Esau, Edom, all right, the so-called white man, and, all right, his cousin Amalek that's over there in the land of Israel right now, all right, Palestine. It says, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. All right, now what is it speaking of? There was a time for 1,000 years, all right, where the devil, okay, and the devil is Esau, all right, was cast down. This time is known as the Dark Ages. All right, so it says they will return and build the desolate places, thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. All right. And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. All right. But he laid his mountains and his heritage waste. All right. And how is he going to do that? All right. He's going to do that by the ICBM nuclear missiles. Okay. So the Lord, all right, he's the one that is raising up these nations to prepare battle and war against, all right, Esau, Edom for their wickedness. All right. This is the Lord's judgment. Continuing on. All right, let's see. Okay, I think that's it from that. I'll get this third point. It says, health workers exhumed at least 381 bodies from mass graves in and around Al-Shifa Hospital after they said Israeli forces killed hundreds of Palestinians and left their bodies to decompose during a 2-week siege. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, I'm going to go to the next article. Okay, yeah, so Biden is rebuking, all right, Benjamin, not a Jew. Now, this is the next article, okay? It says, is Israel Gaza briefing. Obstacles to peace seem larger than ever after 6 months of war. All right, because, see, a lot of people, all right, on the face of the earth, they want peace. They don't want World War III to happen, but it's already prophesied. All right, and it's the determination of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, this is the judgment of the nations. Let's get that. Okay, this is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3 and verse 8. And it reads, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation. So it's the Lord's will that World War III pops off. He says, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right, so he's the one that is bringing these nations together to go up against Esau. All right, and this is in the prophecies as well. All right, let's read this article though. Okay, it says 6 months after the Hamas attacks on Israel, war, disease, starvation, and death ravage Palestinians in Gaza. Israel is deeply divided as its prime minister struggles to keep his promise of total victory. The United States, Israel's most essential ally, has turned against the way it is fighting the war. All right. And they're getting a lot of pressure from the different nations because, once again, All right, the UN, the EU, all right, NATO, all right, these different conglomerates of European powers are pretty much, once again, they are expressing disapproval with the way that the Amalekites, the 1948ers, are handling this situation, which really, if you do further research into it, all right, they were the ones who funded Hamas. All right, and they funded Hamas in order to destabilize the Palestinian government so they could come in and take over. So it's all a part of the plan, and that's exactly what. See, this is a key movement or a key scheme of Esau. All right, they do this. They did this not just with the Palestinians, but they do this pretty much in all countries, especially non-developed countries that can't defend themselves. They go in and they set up mock governments or rebel governments, rebel groups, and they fund them. They train them. All right, and the whole purpose of doing that is to destabilize the established government that's already there, so that they can go in and take over, and then they could pretty much steal the resources from the country. All right, so that's exactly what the Amalekites did. They just took a playbook. All right, they took a play out of the playbook from their Edomite cousins over here in Babylon. Now, continuing on, it says, with Iran vowing vengeance for Israel's assassination of a leading Iranian general in Syria and months of cross-border conflict with Iran's ally Hezbollah in Lebanon, the risks of an all-out Middle East war are increasing. Okay, it says, the statistics record the horrors of the past 6 months. More than 33,000 Gazans, a majority of whom were civilians, have been killed, according to the health ministry. According to Save the Children, 13,800 Palestinian children in Gaza have been killed and over 12,000 wounded. It says UNICEF reports at least 1,000 children have had one or both legs amputated. All right, and what's happening here is, okay, they are creating enemies, all right, that will hate the United States and hate the Israelis for life, all right, but it's all the doing of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, because, and we're going to go into this a little bit later on, what's happening is that the people right now in all Western countries, they're having a border crisis. All right, they're having a border crisis. And primarily it's talked about here in the United States, but it's also happening over in European countries as well, where you have thousands and thousands and in some cases millions of undocumented migrants, all right, that are coming over. And it's mainly military-aged men, all right, coming from places like different countries in Africa, or different Arab countries in the quote-unquote Middle East, coming from Russia, from China, all right, pretty much countries that are confederate against the Western powers, all right, that's where these men are coming from, all right. So what we're seeing here is with the Israelis, what they're doing to the Palestinians, all right, it is dividing people pretty much. The Western powers versus the rest of the world, all right, and not even all of the Western powers, because like I said, most of the European countries have expressed disapproval for what's happening over in Gaza right about now, all right. It's so mostly the United States and the creation state of Israel, all right, because they are in cahoots with each other. They go hand in hand, all right. So so what's pretty much happening, like I said, is that there's that great separation, okay, and the men that are coming over here, those military-aged men that are crossing the borders, they're seeing their brothers and sisters and family, being destroyed by the Israelis and by the United States military and government. So they're not going to have any mercy because Babylon the Great has not had any mercy on them. All right, so the Lord is the ultimate chess player. All right, He's setting the stage for all-out mayhem and chaos, all right, to happen in these Edomite countries. So continuing on, it says more than 1,200 Israelis, mostly civilians, were killed by Hamas on October the 7th, and 253 people were taken into Gaza as hostages. All right, now, I'm not gonna say that didn't happen, but like I said, it's been proven that the creation state of Israel were the ones who created Hamas, all right, purposely to destabilize the Palestinian government. And not only that, but the way that knowing how Esau gets down, I would not be surprised if they planned it all once again, just so they could go in there, take the land, take the resources, and all that good stuff. All right, because that's what they do constantly. All right, worldwide. But now, what we're seeing in this article, all right, it's saying that Iran. You see this? I'll read that first point again, starting right here. It says, with Iran vowing vengeance for Israel's assassination of a leading Iranian general in Syria. All right, Iran is a Islamic country. All right, so they're going to receive backing from other Islamic countries. All right, and most of the countries in the quote unquote Middle East are Islamic. All right, the vast majority of them are. All right, and that once again, also most of those Middle Eastern countries have partnerships with Russia and China. So, like I said, the stage is being set perfectly. All right, for the chess pieces to pretty much bring it into World War III. All right, now, as I said before, okay, there's a lot about, I spoke of the migrants. I mentioned that. Let's go ahead and we'll read a little bit about that. Okay, so this is an article from February 15th, 2024, the Pew Research Center. All right, it's entitled, it says, Migrant encounters at the U.S.-Mexico border hit a record high number at the end of 2023. It says the U.S. Border Patrol had nearly 250,000 encounters with migrants crossing into the United States from Mexico in December 2023, according to government statistics. That was the highest monthly total on record, easily eclipsing the previous peak of about 224,000 encounters in May 2022. All right, now this is just for 1 month. Okay, this is just for 1 month. So if you think about that, all right, that's a lot of people coming in. And then, of course, now here we are, we're in April. All right, 3 months have went by, and we're in the beginning of the 4th month, heading towards the middle of it. And no telling how many people have came across. And not only that, but this is just recording encounters. This is not actually, the actual numbers of people that have came across. All right, this is just recording encounters that the U.S. Border Patrol has had. All right, with these different migrants. All right, so when you put that into perspective, all right, we're gonna go to this other article. All right, you put that into perspective with how many people have really entered in. All right, it's millions. Okay, and they've spread across to different cities all over the United States. All right, why? Because once again, they're preparing war, all right, for Babylon the Great, and really, it's the plan of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. The elites are making this happen. All right, they're moving the pieces around, but Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is the one that is controlling, all right, the minds of the kings of the earth. Let's go ahead and get that right quick. Nope, this is not it. All right, here it is. Okay, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. All right, the king, all right, meaning the kings of the earth, all right, your rulers, your governors, all right, the people who have authority, okay? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is controlling them, all right, and preparing them to go to World War III. All right, that's the reason why, like with Putin, right? Putin put out, and I'm gonna do a video on that probably next. Putin put out those images of the quote unquote Negro Messiah. All right, he's portrayed the true images of what the Israelites actually looked like, all right, which were so-called black and brown people. All right, and now it's that has also been a part of the destabilization of the West. All right, because there's a major issue with racism here in Babylon the Great. All right, there's a major issue with racism, and a lot of people, you even see Edomites now burning their Bibles, talking about we don't believe in the Bible. All right, because it has came out that majority of the people, all right, that were in the Bible, especially when it comes to the prophets, all right, were so-called Negroes. All right, and quote unquote black and brown people. All right, they were not the way that they were portrayed, all right, by the false prophet of Babylon the Great, which is the Roman Catholic Church. All right, they set up that image of Cesare Borgia, all right, and put up the image of a white Jesus with quote unquote white angels and a white heavenly Father, white Israelites. All right, the people over there in the land of Israel claim themselves to be, the biblical Israelites. All right. See, everything is coming out. All right. All of the lies are being exposed. And as a matter of fact, let's get that right quick. What scripture is that? Salakia, bear with me. Now, sometimes I can remember it off the top of my head, sometimes I can't. Let's just get it. Let's just search it up right quick. I know it's in the book of Luke. Let's see. I know it's in the book of Luke. Okay. Here it is. This is what I was thinking of. This is the book of St. Luke, chapter 12 and verse 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. All right. But anyways, let's read more about those numbers. All right. So this is from the Homeland Security, our government website. It says it's titled Final FY, so fiscal year 23. Numbers show worst year at America's borders ever. It says today the White House Committee on Homeland Security released its latest startling stats fact sheet outlining U.S. Customs and Border Protection's September and fiscal year for 2023 border encounter data. It says in the final month of the fiscal year 2023, the Customs and Border Protections recorded 269,735 encounters at the southwest border. All right, southwest border, meaning California, Arizona, New Mexico, West Texas. It says marking another unprecedented milestone under Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and President Joe Biden's open border policies. This monthly number also represents an 86% increase from June 2023, when the Biden administration celebrated a short-lived drop in illegal crossings following the end of Title 42. Look at this. It says the annual numbers prove just as catastrophic in fiscal year 2023, and the Customs and Border Protection recorded more than 2.4 million encounters at the southwest border and more than 3.2 million encounters nationwide. All right, remember, that is only the encounters. That's not the total number. All right, 3.2 million encounters. And think about this: if you have 1,000 people flood the border all at one time, and you only have maybe at most 20 to 30 Border Patrol agents, how many of them can you really grab up? You see? So they're telling you that they've had 3.2 million encounters nationwide. All right, you can guarantee that there's way more people than that have crossed over. It says just this fiscal year, 169 individuals on the terrorist watch list were apprehended attempting to enter the country illegally. All right, now look at this. This is if you're not living for the Lord, all right, for Yahweh Shem Yahushai, this ought to put a fire up under your butt, man. All right, especially if you're here in Babylon the Great. It says, let's get that again. 169 individuals on the terrorist watch list were apprehended attempting to enter the country illegally, and at least 1.7 million known gotaways have evaded apprehension since the fiscal year of 2021. Are you reading that? 1.7 million known gotaways from the terrorist watch list are possibly here in America, Babylon the Great. All right. So it's not a matter of if there's going to be terrorist attacks, if the United States is going to be attacked from within. It's a matter of when. All right, because you have a lot of people who don't believe that these things could ever happen. All right, in Babylon. And once again, this is from the Homeland Security government website. This is not something I just made up. All right. So let's bring out some scriptures because this is in prophecy. All right. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3. All right. And verse 1. This is the reason why Yahweh Shem Yahushai is allowing these things to happen. It says, woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. All right. Who is the prey? You Israelites. All right. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. All right. We were taken over here as captives. All right. And we have been prey. All right. They have devoured us. All right. Let's get a scripture on that. All right. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 7. Oh, Salaki. All right, Jeremiah 50:7. Oh, crap, I did it again. Salaki. All right, Jeremiah 50:7, it says, all that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. All right, so that's their mindset. They say, nah, you know, we do no wrong. All right, and they still do that today. They still have that mindset. All right, whenever they do some kind of injustice, or any kind of wickedness to a Jake, all right, the first thing that they're gonna do when you point out, all right, what they have done is they're gonna say, well, what about your African relatives that sold you into captivity, all right, which really were not the same people. Those are Hamites, all right. But even then, what does that have to do with what you did? All right, what does it have to do with what you did when we came to America, when you brought us over here? All right, and the hundreds of years of atrocities and discrimination that happened to us. All right, it has nothing. Those people over there have nothing to do with that. All right, so they always try to shift the blame, or they say, well, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians kill each other in the streets every day. All right, mainly the so-called Negroes. All right, they always bring that out. Well, what about black on black crime, quote unquote, right? But at the end of the day, none of the things that Jake has done is gonna wash the blood off of your hands. All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah. All right, so the children of Israel, the northern kingdom, so-called Latinos and natives. All right, and then of course you have those who may look like other nations. All right, but their seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then you have the children of Judah, all right, primarily the so-called Negroes, were oppressed together, all right, here in Babylon. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. All right, so woe to the bloody city, the prey departeth not. All right, continuing on. All right, it says, let's see. I'll read down to verse 4. The noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and of the prancing horses and of the jumping chariots. The horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. All right, this is Babylon the Great. All right, Isaiah 47 goes into that. All right, goes into the many enchantments and witchcrafts of the daughter of Babylon. All right, now this prophecy specifically was going into Assyria, but America is also spiritually known as Assyria and spiritual Egypt. All right, which is the reason why the eclipse that we just had yesterday, actually, they had 7 cities. All right, 7 cities named Nineveh. All right, the eclipse went through 7 cities that were named Nineveh. All right, because Nineveh was the capital of the Assyrian kingdom at that time. All right, Babylon is the spiritual Assyria, all right, and spiritual Egypt and spiritual Babylon. All right, and all pretty much encapsulates all the different wicked kingdoms that were on the earth before this place. Now, continuing on, all right, in verse 5, it says, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. All right, it means he's going to lift up your skirt. He's going to show your sins. And I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. All right, and that's what you see happening now. All right, that's the reason why everyone is expressing disapproval for what's happening with the 1948ers. All right, it says, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile and will set thee as a gazing stock. So the whole world is looking at Babylon with the side eye right about now. All right, it says, and it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? And whence shall I seek comforters for thee? All right, so the Lord is going to bring destruction upon this place. And who's gonna bemoan her? Who's going to help? All right. Now, it goes into how pretty much how what they did to the Israelites. This is the whole reason for, this is the whole reason for the Lord bringing this destruction. All right, he's pleading for his heritage. This is Nahum 3:10. Okay, it says, yet was she carried away, and that she is the daughter of the daughter of Zion, She went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets. And they cast lots for her. Honorable men and all her great men were bound in chains. All right, this is going into that captivity, the great transatlantic slave trade. All right, and the reverse Atlantic slave trade as well. Okay, where they took the natives and sent them over to southwestern Europe. All right, over to Spain and Portugal. All right, it says, verse 11, thou also shalt be drunken, thou shalt be hid, thou also shalt seek strength because of the enemy. All right, so that's what the Lord is saying to Nineveh. All right, that's what's going to happen, because for the most part, it's always been the other way around. All right, the other nations have always seeked strength because of the enemy, because America has completely overtaken and oppressed, all right, the nations around the world. All right, it tells you, as a matter of fact, it tells you that in Isaiah the 14th chapter. All right, about Babylon. All right, Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 5. I shall start at 4. It says, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. All right. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. All right. And this is going into Esau. All right. He's the king of Babylon. All right. Which is also, once again, spiritual Assyria and spiritual Egypt. Now, okay, continuing on. All right. Look at this. It says, verse 11, thou also shalt be drunken, thou shalt be hid, and thou shalt also seek strength because of the enemy. All thy strongholds shall be like fig trees with the first ripe figs. If they be shaken, they shall even fall into the mouth of the eater. So complete and utter devouring. It says, behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies. The fire shall devour thy bars. All right, so that's the open borders right there. All right, the gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies. All right, and that's exactly what we see. All right, as we read in that article, okay, they said that 1.7 million known gotaways had evaded apprehension, all right, since 2021. So you got at least 1.7 known terrorists that are possibly loose here in Babylon, all right? It only, I mean, shoot, man, if you think of major terrorist attacks, all right, in the world, it really was only, maybe you had 10 people that came up with plans. Imagine what millions of enemies could do, the devastation that they could do. All right. And once again, the Lord is the one that's bringing these evils. All right. It says, let's see. It says, draw the waters for the siege, fortify thy strongholds, go into clay and tread the mortar, make strong the brick kiln. It says, there shall the fire devour thee. The sword shall cut thee off. It shall eat thee up like the cankerworm, and make thyself many. All right, Salakia. Make thyself many as the cankerworm. Make thyself many as the locust. All right. So the Lord is just saying, he's saying that I'm going to bring that great destruction. And it says here in that verse 15 in the beginning that the fire, all right, shall devour thee. All right. So once again, what fire is that talking about? That's the ICBM nuclear missiles. Okay. But let's get some more scriptures. And actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to scroll up and I'm going to get, let's see, this right here. All right. Because the Lord is a power of balance. All right. So the same punishments that we received are going to be the same punishments that are going to come upon Babylon. All right. This is Isaiah the 13th chapter. Isaiah the 13th chapter. And I'm going to get verse 9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So, like I skipped verse 10. All right, but I'm going to continue on, skipping down. We get started at verse 14 now. It says, and it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. All right, it says, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. All right, it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. All right, so you can't pay these people off. All right, you cannot buy them off. Okay, it says, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. All right, and this is exactly what we saw, all right, happen to the children of Israel. All right, when the Edomites took us into captivity. All right, so the Lord is going to repay them back, all right, with the same trouble that they put on us, the same evil. Nahum 3:10. All right, reading that again. Yet was she carried away, she went into captivity. All right, this is the daughter of Zion. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets. And they cast lots for her honorable men, and all her great men were bound in chains. All right, and that's talking about us. Now, once again, they dashed the children in pieces. All right, they literally would take babies, all right, out of the womb of a woman, and they would smash its head on the rocks. All right, and the Lord said that they have to receive that same punishment. All right, so he's raising up the nations. All right, he's raising up the nations against Babylon, all right, to execute that judgment. This is Psalms 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. That means utterly and completely destroy it. It says, O daughter of Babylon. All right, so Esau, Edom, is the one that's ruling over the daughter of Babylon. All right, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardest thee as thou hast served us. You see that? All right, so they're going to be, they're going to be happy when they're able to do this. All right, when they bring that judgment, because Yahweh Shem Yahushai is the one that's raising them up for this purpose. It says, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. All right, and not only are the heathen nations going to be given the power, all right, to execute that judgment over the sons of the wicked Esau. All right, but also the Lord tells you that in Ezekiel, the 25th chapter. All right, let's go ahead and get that right quick. All right, Ezekiel 25 and verse 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord. All right, so they're going to get destroyed from every angle. All right, so this is why the Lord is doing it, though. All right, because they did the same thing to us. All right, Isaiah the 13th chapter and verse 16 again. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. All right, and the Persians and the Medes were the ones who overtook the ancient Babylon. All right, they were the next kingdom, the second beast. Okay, so now he's using them to metaphorically say, I'm going to rise up those same destroyers against the daughter of Babylon. All right, it says their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, because he's going to rain down fire and brimstone upon the daughter of Babylon. All right, because this didn't happen in ancient Babylon. All right, but this is going to happen in the daughter of Babylon, which is America. All right, and it's funny that, or not necessarily funny, but in that 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. All right, the Persians and the Medes were the ones who overtook ancient Babylon, all right, which is in modern day Iraq. All right, but we just read, all right, in that article that Iran, all right, which is the actual home of the Persians, all right, that they said that they vowed to execute vengeance for what they did, all right, to their allies. All right, so literally the Medes are going to take part in the destruction of the daughter of Babylon. All right, literally. So you see, the Lord is bad like that. All right, we're going to get a little bit more prophecy and get ready to close out. So let's go here. This is Jeremiah 51. It says, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes. All right, who are these nations? All right, this is Russia, China, North Korea, all right, Iran, all right, all the different quote unquote Arab nations that are going up against Babylon and the Western powers. It says, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might hath failed. All right, and even right now, there's a hard, the military is having a hard time with recruiting people. All right, nobody wants to go to war for a country that treats them unfairly. All right, it says, their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. All right. So they became as women. If you send a bunch of men to go to war against women, they're going to utterly destroy them. All right. That's how it's going to be. The mighty men of Babylon have four. Oh, I just read that, Salakia. Verse 31. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end. All right. So this place is going to be, it's going to be utterly taken, as we read earlier, that the bars or the gates would be completely open into the enemy. It says, and that the passages are stopped, and the reeds they have burned with fire, and the men of war are affrighted. It says, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her. Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. All right, let's see. What that word thresh means. All right, it ain't nothing nice. I'm gonna tell you that. Oh. Okay, it doesn't really give a good definition. That's okay. I'll go to the blue letter and get it. All right, Jeremiah 51. And 33 is where I was at. All right, let's see what the word thresh means.
Strong's H, 1869. Darach. Darach.
All right, so it is a verb. It means to tread. All right, to tread down. Okay, let's see. All right, tread down, Merriam-Webster Dictionary. To step on or walk all over. All right, to execute by stepping or dancing. Nope. Okay, this is a good one. It says, definition 3A in the Merriam-Webster. It says to beat or press with the feet, to trample. It says to subdue or repress as if by trampling. All right, so they're going to trample all over. All right, Babylon the Great, which is exactly what. Once again, everything that Esau has done to us is now getting ready to be returned upon our own head. All right, this is exactly what they did to us. They threshed us down. Isaiah the 51st chapter and verse 21. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. All right, you Israelites, you're afflicted and drunken. All right, but not with actual wine, but with the philosophies of Babylon. All right, thus saith the Lord and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. All right, so our punishment is over with. All right, it says, but I will put into the hand of them that afflict thee. All right, who has afflicted us? Esau, Edom, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over. All right, so they literally stepped all over us. All right, and now the Lord is saying, I'm going to have them lay down, and you're going to step all over them. All right, and he's gonna use the other nations as well to rise up against them. All right, continuing on, Jeremiah 51 and verse 34. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, hath devoured me. He hath crushed me. He hath made me an empty vessel. He hath swallowed me up like a dragon. He hath filled his belly with my delicates. He hath cast me out. All right. And How did he do this? Because the children of Israel, specifically the elect, are the body of Yahweh Shai. All right, so everything that you have done to us, you literally did to the Lord. All right, and a big part of Edomites, deep down inside, they know that. That's the reason why they're so afraid of the God of the Bible, all right, being a so-called Negro, because all right, if we are his chosen people, then you have a lot of hell to pay. All right. And that's exactly what's about to happen. All right. And that's why they're so afraid of us. That's why they're sending out death threats, trying to get us off the streets, trying to stop us from preaching this word. All right. But it's not going to happen, man. And no matter what you do, no matter what you try to do, all right, Yahweh Shai is going to not only protect his elect, but he's also going to bring your own violence down upon your head. All right. So let's get that. Psalms 7th chapter. And I'll get ready to close out soon. All right. Psalms chapter 7 and verse 15, it says, actually, I'll start at verse 14. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity and hath conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood. All right, this is Esau. He made a pit and digged it and is fallen into the ditch which he made. All right, so the same traps that he set up for us, now he's about to fall into them. It says, his mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. All right, so that's exactly what's getting ready to come. Continuing on. All right, Jeremiah 51 and verse 35. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. You see, shall the inhabitant of Zion say, and my blood upon the inhabitants of Chaldea shall Jerusalem say. So that's literally what I just said. All right, everything that you've done to the elect of the nation of Israel, all right, and to all the Israelites, all right, you've done to Yahweh Shai, all right, and what you've done to Yahweh Shai, you've done to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh himself. All right, you've greatly offended, so now you got to pay for that, all right, and that's the time that we're coming into, okay? Let's see. Maybe I'm thinking of, might be thinking of Ezekiel 25. All right, Salaki, bear with me. Here it is. All right, Ezekiel 25 and 12. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. All right, so that's what we're getting ready to see happen, man. All right, pretty much these Edomites are getting ready to have their own violent dealings fall upon their pate, all right, as the scriptures say. So I don't think I have anything else. With that being said, I'm going to close out. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. All right, Lord's will is edifying. Until next time, Shalom.